This is an important video. Here we will learn the steps involved in development and execution of a program. So development and execution of a program. So what are the steps? We will learn about those steps in detail. So we will not be learning again and again, but we will be using these steps every time when we are writing any program. So what are the steps involved? Let us see. First step is editing. Second is compiling. Third, linking libraries, then loading and execution. So let us pick up the first one. Editing means typing a program. Where do you type the program? So you can type a program in any text editor. But after typing, you have to compile, link, and also you may be executing. So that is difficult. So we want all these things at one place. Editing a program, compiling a program, linking libraries, loading and execution. All these should be together at one place. So what is that place? So the softwares are available for performing all these things together at one place. Those softwares are called as IDE. Integrated Development Environment. Development involves these things. So integrated means all these things together at one place. So IDEs are there. So we use IDEs for programming, whether it is C language, C++, Java, any language, we use IDE. So for every language, there is a different IDE available, and some IDEs are there for all programming languages. So to name few IDEs, for C++, we have a IDE that is Turbo C++. This works for C language as well as C++. Then we have Dev C++, Dev CPP. This is also for C++ as well as C language, both the languages it supports, right? And Xcode, Code Blocks, and Eclipse Visual Studio. This is from Microsoft. So on. So many IDEs are available. These are available provided by different software vendors or software development companies. They have their own version of IDE. Whichever you are comfortable, you can use that. If you are very new to programming, then you can select Dev C++, right? And if you're using Mac machine, then you can go for Xcode, right? Or Code Blocks. You can use any of these IDEs, whichever you are comfortable, right? Mostly in India, in colleges, they use Turbo C++ for teaching C++ programming to the students. In a college laboratory, they use this one, or else they use Linux. Upon Linux also, you can use GCC compiler. I am using Xcode in my course. The reason of using Xcode is easy for explanation purpose, right? But in the next section, you will find how to install all these things. Now, few more things. When you install any one of these, you will also get a compiler along with that. Or in some cases, for some IDEs, you have to install compiler separately. IDE separate, compiler separate, and you have to integrate that compiler with the IDE. You have to do it. And in some cases, when you install IDE, it will also install compiler. So setup and installation part is shown in the next section. So from there you can learn and you can set up your own environment for development. So in that IDE, we write the program. So example program already I have taken here. Suppose I have written the program. So editing is over. So we have finished with editing. Now next, compiling. I'll remove this. Next step is compiling. Suppose I have written this program. I'm not going to explain you the program. So this we will be doing in the next section. So just a program is there. This is a C++ program. Suppose I have written a program and the file name is first.cpp. This is a C++ program file. If I type this as IDE, edit it, I should save it. So if it is saved, then it will be on the hard disk. So here it is on the hard disk, right? So I have written a program, so it is saved in a file that is first.cpp. So this is a source code, and C++ is a compiler based language. So next thing what I have to do, compile it. So if I call the compiler from the IDE's options will be available, you can call the compiler, and if you call the compiler will convert this into machine code, and let us say it gives first.exe file on Windows based machine. That exe extension depends on Windows based machine. Most of the user use Windows, so I am using extension .exe. It means executable file. Now how that exe file looks like. See, in my program there are two pieces. One is a function called max and another is a function called main, and at the end inside main I should have written 0 because it is returning. So there are two functions, max function and main function. So machine code looks like this. This is max function, machine code of max, and this is main function, machine code of main. So two pieces of code will be there. Then this is a separate file. So here a file will be stored on the hard disk, that is first.exe, and this is a machine code file. Let us say that is generated. Who generated that? Compiler. Compiler will convert this if there are no errors here. If there are any errors, it will highlight and show you the errors and ask you to remove them. If you have removed them perfectly, then you get that file. So compilation is over. Now next thing, this is during compilation, along with the compilation only. This is over. Now we'll pick up this linking of library. What is this? See, for writing the programs, we need a lot of things that are actually available inside the language. So language provides some built-in code, ready-made code that makes easy for us to write the programs. If that ready-made code is not there, then we have to do a lot of work for even doing a smaller task. Like one of the thing is reading something from the keyboard or printing something on the monitor, right? Saving something in a file. So in mathematical operations like cos theta, sin theta, log, calculating these things. So for various operation, building functions or classes are available in C++ that are available in header files or library files. So this is a header file we include, and supporting with this one there is a library file that is having the machine code readily available. So let me show you here in my program. See, all these things are my own, means I have defined them. Then what is this cout, std cout? This is a built-in object available in C++ that is useful for printing. If you look inside the main function, these are the variables. This is a max function. Where is max? Here is max. Then cout, where is cout? It is there in IOStream. I have included it. So machine code for that cout should also be included, right? So yes, that will also be included in my first.exe. This is the machine code for cout, machine code for cin, and many more, whatever available here in iostream.h. So iostream is a header file, and that is supported by a library file. So when you are using the library, means the machine code of the library will be copied in your exe file. That's it. So this process is called as linking of libraries. That library is linked with your program. So link means not file is not linked. The content itself are copied in your exe file. This is one of the important thing. Whichever the function that you are using, their machine code will be copied in your file. Actually, the header file we use, entire header file will be copied in exe file. So we should be careful. If you're not using, don't include the header files. This is over. So now exe is ready. This is done after the compilation or along with the compilation process. Everything is ready there, right? Now, file is ready. Exe program is ready. So till here, development work is over. So this is development, closed. Now two steps for execution. Now I want to run the program. So for running the program, first of all, this exe file, the content, that is machine code, should be brought into the main memory. I have been telling you this in the previous videos also. So it should be brought into the main memory. So this is the main memory. So this main memory we will study a little bit. That main memory is divided into 3 logical sections and it is used. So there are 3 sections. One is the code section, another one is stack from the top, and this middle one is heap. So it is divided into 3 sections. Sometimes for explanation I write stack here and heap there. So basically there are 3 sections, right? Where they are, that is a different thing. So let us see how it will run. For running the program, this program code, machine code, has to be brought into the main memory. Which area? code section. So all this machine code will be copied in this code section. Max machine code, main machine code, and so on. So I don't have space to show all. So that machine code is copied. This is called as loading. Bringing a program from hard disk to the main memory for getting it executed by CPU. This process is called as loading. Bringing it here inside the main memory is loading. So this is loading process. This is also an important process. And while loading, whatever the arrangements are required, that are done. So that arrangement, we don't have to go in detail. That is called as relocation. So all these things are done by operating system. Operating system will bring that from hard disk to the main memory. I'm not showing that in this picture. It is there in the memory. Already is there. Operating system is running. So it will bring the program into the main memory, right? Then after bringing it, it will ask the CPU to start executing the program from the first line. So here is the main function. So it will give the address of the main function and CPU will start executing that program. And that machine code will execute and it will utilize all the functions, whatever the machine code is, it will run. So that's about execution. Now, little bit more about the execution. Now, last step I am showing you. Once the CPU is given the address, it will start executing. So if you look into the program, this is the instruction, all these are instruction, this is an instruction, this is an instruction, but this A, B, C is a data variable. X, Y are the variable. This is variable, right? These are the variables. Now for variables also space should be there. So for the variable, space is taken here inside stack. This is taken inside stack, right? So those variables will be created inside the stack during execution of a program that are created there inside the stack. So stack is useful for variable creation and code section is useful for program itself. Heap, what is the use of heap? It is used for dynamic memory allocation. So we are going to learn more about this stack, heap and all. In later sections, we will learn about this in detail. This is sufficient here. Just the introduction that there is something called stack, there is something called code section and heap. That is sufficient. So that's all about the steps for development and execution of a program. So this is how a program is developed and executed. Now we'll be using IDEs and we will be writing the programs. This is all behind the scene. So we don't see all these things, just we type the program and run. So this is what all happening at the background. So that's all in this video and that's all in this section. Next section is for setting up an IDE, right? How to install Xcode and code blocks and Dev C++. I have shown that. If you are already aware, you already have an environment, already have an IDE, then you can skip that and you can directly start from next section.